Let me save you from one of the slickest little scams in modern adulthood. Everybody thinks buying a car is about the price tag and the monthly payment. Cute, adorable, financially dangerous. Because the biggest lie in the car business is not what the car costs. It's what they convince you to look at. They point at the keys, like you just unlocked freedom. Meanwhile, your wallet is backstage getting jumped by depreciation, insurance, maintenance, fuel, taxes, fees, and a long parade of expenses dressed like normal life. And by the time you realize it, your car is not transportation. It's a hungry roommate with leather seats. See, the dealership conversation is never really about the total cost. They almost never start with, "Hey champ, ready to spend thousands a year after you leave here?" No. They hit you with the soft, buttery question. What monthly payment are you comfortable with? That question is not there to help you. That question is there to hypnotize you. Because once your brain gets locked on a monthly number, you stop thinking like an owner and start thinking like a subscriber. Now you're not buying a machine. You're signing up for a recurring expense with cup holders. And that is where the trick happens. The monthly payment is the shiny decoy duck. It keeps your eyes busy while the real costs clean out your future. You fight to save $500 off sticker price like you're in a gladiator match. You celebrate getting the payment down by $40. You text your friends like you just beat capitalism. Meanwhile, the truly expensive part of owning the car hasn't even started yet, because your payment to the bank is only one slice of the pie. The bigger slices go to everybody else. That's the lie right there. People are taught to believe the cost of the car is what you send to the lender each month. Nope, that's just the admission ticket. The real cost of the car is what you pay to keep the thing legal, moving, repaired, insured, fueled, registered, and steadily dropping in value like a phone the second the new model comes out. That is how people become car poor without realizing it. They've got a job. They make the payment. They're doing what they were told. But somehow, the savings account stays skinny. Investing gets delayed. Emergencies feel dramatic. And financial peace keeps acting like it missed the exit. Why? Because there's a machine parked outside, quietly eating wealth for breakfast. Quick reality check. Imagine your car standing in your kitchen at 2 a.m., eating shredded money out of a cereal bowl and saying, "Relax, babe, I'm worth it." That is basically the relationship. Anyway, back to the crime scene. Now, let's put real numbers on this, because once you see the math, the whole illusion falls apart. According to the AAA figures used in this breakdown, the average total cost to own and operate a new vehicle is $11,577 per year. Not over 5 years, not in some dramatic worst-case scenario, per year. And out of that total, only about $1,131 is the average finance charge, which means the other $10,446 a year is the stuff people barely talk about when they're flexing that affordable payment. Let me translate that into plain English. On top of your principal payment, your car can quietly cost you more than $870 a month just to exist in your life. So that sweet little only $500 a month deal starts looking a lot less sweet when your total transportation bill is strolling around dressed like $1,300+ a month. That's not a side expense. That's rent in some zip codes. That's a whole chunk of someone's investing power. That's the sound of future wealth getting siphoned through a steering wheel. Over a standard 5-year loan, those extra costs can add up to more than $52,000. Read that again with your eyebrows involved. You can spend over 50 grand on the stuff around the car, not even counting the part where you actually bought the car. That is why transportation ends up as one of the biggest household expenses people have, right behind housing for a lot of families. If dealerships had to lead with the true ownership number instead of the monthly payment, people would leave skid marks in the showroom carpet. Let's start with the heavyweight champion of hidden car costs, depreciation. This one is nasty because it doesn't send you a bill. It just sneaks into your net worth and starts stealing furniture. Depreciation is the value your car loses over time, especially right after you buy it. A new car can lose around 20% of its value in the first year. After about 5 years, it may have lost around 60% of what you paid. So while you're making faithful monthly payments like a responsible citizen, the car itself is over there melting in value like an ice sculpture in July. Using the AAA figures from this source material, the average new vehicle loses about $4,334 in value every year. That is the kind of money people hustle to save. That's the kind of money people are proud to throw into an index fund. That's the kind of money that could start an emergency fund, wipe out debt, or give your future some breathing room. But your car can burn through that amount silently while looking parked and polite. Now, yes, some vehicles hold value better than others. Reliable economy cars usually age more gracefully. Some sports cars do okay. Some luxury sedans and certain EVs can fall faster than a fake guru's rented lifestyle after the lease is up. But the big point does not change. Depreciation is real. It is expensive. And it is the hidden tax on buying something newer than your budget needed. Next up, insurance. The mandatory subscription to not getting absolutely bodied by reality. You can't legally drive without it, and the newer and fancier your car is, the more your insurer starts licking their calculator. Those cameras, sensors, driver assist features, special paint, weirdly expensive headlights, and delicate bumpers are great until something minor happens and the repair bill looks like tuition. Insurance companies know this. They price accordingly. According to the source figures here, the national average for full coverage is around $1,694 per year. And in some high-cost states, that can swell past $4,000 a year. So now you're paying hundreds every month for the privilege of protecting the car you're already paying hundreds every month to own. That is a financial turducken. Expense stuffed inside expense. Stuffed inside more expense. And if you're younger, newer to driving, or carrying a less than perfect record, the price gets even more disrespectful. Then comes maintenance and repairs, also known as the part where the honeymoon ends and the receipts start speaking in tongues. When your car is new and under warranty, life feels manageable. Oil changes, maybe a rotation, a little dealership coffee, everybody's smiling. That phase tricks people into thinking ownership is cheaper than it really is. But warranties expire, parts age, tires wear down. Brakes do not care that you had other plans for your paycheck. Once the coverage is gone, you are now financially dating a very complicated machine. Based on the figures in your source, maintenance, repairs, and tires average about 11 cents per mile. Drive 15,000 miles a year, and you're looking at roughly $1,656 annually. That covers the predictable stuff, the grown-up expenses people love to pretend will somehow never happen to them. Tires can easily hit around $900 a set. Brake work can run $300 or more. None of this is scandalous. None of this is rare. It's just the mechanical version of gravity. And then there's the unpredictable stuff, the boss battle. Major engine or transmission repairs can run $5,000 to $10,000. And for certain EV battery replacements, the bill can shoot way higher, sometimes into territory that makes your soul leave your body before the service advisor finishes the sentence. That is when people discover the terrifying truth. One bad repair can cost more than months and months of the car payment they obsessed over. So yes, budgeting $900 to $1,500 a year for maintenance is sensible. But older cars can absolutely climb to $2,000 a year or more just to remain loyal and moving. Now, let's talk about the little bites that add up to a full attack. Fuel, taxes, registration, licensing, and financing costs. Fuel is obvious, but people still treat it like background noise because it arrives in smaller hits. According to the numbers in this script, driving about 15,000 miles a year can put you around $1,950 annually in gasoline. That's real money, not monopoly money, not "it's only $20 this time" money. Real money that could have had another job. Then the government steps in with the polite little nibble: registration, licensing, taxes. All the official paperwork charges that feel small separately and rude together. The average used in this source is around $813 a year. Then add financing. Unless you paid cash, the lender gets their share too, with an average finance charge around $1,100+ per year in this breakdown. That's why I keep saying the payment is not the whole movie. It's barely the trailer. So let's stack the evidence neatly on the table, using the figures from the source material. Depreciation, $4,334 a year. Insurance, $1,694 a year. Maintenance and repairs, $1,656 a year. Fuel, $1,950 a year. Taxes, license, and registration, $813 a year. Add those up and you land at about $10,447 per year before even counting your principal payment. Then with financing included, the total average cost to own and operate that new vehicle hits $11,577 annually. And this is the part that should really bother people. Folks will wrestle a dealership to save a fraction on interest rate, maybe shaving off a few $100s a year, while ignoring the $10,000 stampede happening right next to them. That is like negotiating over the price of the straw while an elephant is sitting on your chest. The biggest cost of the car is not the payment. It is the car itself, and everything it demands after you bring it home. So how do you dodge the trap without becoming one of those just walk everywhere people on the internet who somehow live 3 minutes from everything? Simple. Stop shopping by monthly payment and start shopping by total cost of ownership, also called TCO. Before you go to a dealership, look up the car. Use ownership calculators from places like Edmunds or Kelley Blue Book. Check depreciation trends, estimate insurance, look at fuel costs, look at repair patterns, because a car that seems more expensive at first glance can actually be cheaper to own than the flashy one that seduced your eyeballs in the showroom. That shiny, loaded SUV might not just cost more to buy. It may cost more to insure, more to fuel, more to fix, and more to watch depreciate in broad daylight. Meanwhile, a modest, reliable sedan might save you thousands a year across the whole ownership experience. And that is what real reliability means. Not just, will this car break down less, but also, will this thing leave my budget alone long enough for me to build a life? Because this is not about being cheap. This is about being dangerous with your money in the best possible way. Every dollar your car eats is a dollar you cannot invest, save, use to kill debt, stack for emergencies, or put toward freedom. The dealership wants your eyes glued to the monthly number because that keeps the real cost hiding in the curtains. They sell you the car up front, but what you really buy is years of follow-up charges with a steering wheel attached. And once you see that, you stop buying transportation emotionally and start buying it strategically. So no, the real cost of car ownership is not the cute number the salesperson circles with a pen. That's the appetizer. The real cost is the full ecosystem of money your car consumes year after year while pretending to be a simple purchase. And once you understand that, you stop asking, can I make the payment? You start asking the smarter question. Can I afford this machine without it body slamming my future? Drop your wildest hidden car cost in the comments because I know some of y'all have stories that sound like mechanical horror films with APR. And send this to anybody car shopping right now before they fall in love with a payment and marry a financial headache. Also, check out the ebooks and check out our many financial calculators and other resources, links below. Because unlike that dealership, we prefer to show you the whole bill before your money starts doing backflips out the window.